Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. Big breaking news now coming out of the press. I've just read a couple of reports on it, and this is a shock move that Manchester United, my club, are planning to do. Reportedly, according to Court Offside, I've reported on it as well. Manchester Evening News have reported on it, and a few media outlets have reported on it that according to Court Offside, that Man United have reportedly opened up talks and negotiations to potentially sign Philip Coutinho in this January transfer window. Reportedly, so they have reported Man United have contacted Barcelona over this, and reportedly Manchester United have opened up talks to currently sign Philip Coutinho, as he has found life in Spain with Barcelona. He's now been at Barcelona for a year, as we all currently know, because obviously Barcelona did get him last January, as we all know, for £142 million, which potentially makes him like one of the most expensive players of all time. I think he's the third most expensive player, is Philip Coutinho. But reportedly, the Barcelona director is aware of these current rumours, and reportedly, from his perspective, he said he still thinks Coutinho has got a future at Barcelona, but he hasn't been getting enough game time. He has been lacking game time at Barcelona, and we know Coutinho would be a sensational signing, as we all know, because he flourished, during his 5 years, with Anfield, at Anfield, he was absolutely fantastic. He's good, he's strong, he's quick in the air, his versatility is very good. He's mainly number 10 is Coutinho. He's operated as a second striker before. You can put him in an attacking midfield position. I think that's his role, and you can put him on each flank as well. So it would be beneficial, if he did come to Manchester United, because as I did say, there's still key areas, where Manchester United needs to strengthen up. Reports are stemming out of the press that Man United are reportedly the favourites to go and sign the player. Reportedly, it's if Barcelona are willing to do any business. It's also mentioned in the media Chelsea, City and Paris Saint-Germain have also expressed their interest in Philip Coutinho as well. But as we 26 years of age. He's Brazilian, as we all currently know, is Philip Coutinho. When he was a lot younger in his prime, obviously began his senior career with Inter Milan, as we all know. They had a couple of loan deals, didn't he? He went to Espanyol on loan and that, he actually used to play under Mauricio Pochettino, at the time when Mauricio Pochettino obviously was managing Espanyol, and Coutinho was playing for Espanyol in as we all know. Liverpool actually only paid £8.5 million for Coutinho back in 2013 from Inter Milan, as we all know. So they did, they made a huge profit on Philip Coutinho, because he was a sensational player for Liverpool. I think he made over a century appearances. I think he made about 152 appearances in the Premier League for Liverpool, did Philip Coutinho. But potentially he's got a contract, hasn't he? But now he's done a year of his contract, at Barcelona as Philip Coutinho. But as I said, sensational player. And this does become a shock, because I didn't think Manchester United would have been linked to him. But reportedly, Manchester United have opened up talks of getting Philip Coutinho in this January transfer window. But according to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he potentially said he doesn't think Man U will make any signings. He said it's unlikely, and he said he doesn't expect Manchester United to, of course, make any signings. But we know Barcelona paid £142 million for him last January, as we all know, and potentially, previously, before that £142 million bid had been accepted and Barcelona and Liverpool had come to an agreement, before that, Barcelona had 2 bids turned down Philip Coutinho, or was it 3? Because Liverpool desperately wanted to keep Philip Coutinho, but as he confirmed, Coutinho, he did want to make the move to Barcelona. But, he knows the Premier League does Coutinho, because he had 5 outstanding years with Liverpool, as we all know. And is Coutinho interested in coming to Manchester United? Because Man United have been in negotiations with Barcelona over this, as it's reportedly said, and he hasn't been a first-team choice. He hasn't been a starter this season for Barcelona, and obviously it costs £142 million. A player of that calibre, wants to be getting a first-team football under his belt with Barcelona, does Philip Coutinho. But as I said, we all thought Liverpool, they're doing very well this season, to be fair to them, to be quite fair. We all thought when they lost players like Luis Suarez, and when they lost Coutinho and the likes of Mascherano, they have lost quite a lot of good players over the years of Liverpool. At that point, we thought Liverpool were going to crumble, as we all know. But as I said, fair play to Jurgen Klopp. He's got on with it. He's addressed their deficiencies, as we all know. He spent like £400 million in 6 transfer windows. They spent £170 million last summer, did Liverpool as well. They've addressed their defensive deficiencies. The signing of Virgil van Dijk, £75 million. has solved their defensive problems out Liverpool's. You know, they've got a good goalkeeper as well, and they've got a great attacking trio with Salah, Mane, and Firmino, and Liverpool, and they're looking very, very good this season. Defensively, they're looking good. Attackively, they're looking very, very good indeed as well. But we all thought Liverpool had, gone backwards. You know, when Coutinho left last year in January, when Luis Suarez and that left them, we thought Liverpool would have potentially gone backwards, but it hasn't happened that way. But yeah, reportedly Manchester United have reportedly opened talks up to get Philippe Coutinho. He's won quite a lot of individual awards, PFA Team of the Year, Liverpool's Players Player of the Season, so he has won quite a few individual awards, and he's still got a lot of years ahead of him. He's only in his mid-20s. He's Coutinho. He's 26 years of age, as we all know. So it's reportedly said Man United have opened up negotiations to potentially get the player, and it just stemmed from the media today that Man United have begun negotiations to get the signing of Philippe Coutinho, and it reportedly could cost Man United in the region of a staggering £100 million to get Coutinho, potentially, because that's potentially what he's worth, of how much of a good player. He's one of the best attacking midfield players out there. He definitely was in the Premier League when he was playing in the Premier League for Liverpool, Philippe Coutinho, as we all know. But there has been talks about that going on in the last few hours. It's in caught offside. It says confirmed Man United have been in talks. It's in the Manchester Evening News as well. It's in a few media outlets, as we all currently know. But as I potentially said, these still key areas, where potentially Manchester United do need to strengthen up. I still think we need a central defender. I still think we potentially need a centre defensive midfield that's fast and tenacious. I think the right-hand side does need addressing, to be quite honest with you. But, have you noticed that our attacks coming from the left-hand side more than out? Our attacks coming from the left-hand side of the pitch. There's no attack coming from the right-hand side of the pitch, and that's why potentially Manchester United do need to strengthen up the right-hand side, as we all know. And I always said, we potentially, need a central defender, as we all know, because we've had injury problems this season at the back. As we all know, we've had injury problems. And plus, as well, we've got Bailly. I think he's got great potential as Bailly, but, he could potentially leave. Lindelof, to be fair to him, has improved this season, to be fair to him. I think Phil Jones, Smalling, this could be their last season at Manchester United, Phil Jones and Smalling, to be quite honest with you. Jones, he's good when he gets them run of games, but he's known for injuries, as we all know, and potentially Chris Smalling, he may not be here next season as well, and potentially Tuan Zebe, Fosu-Mensah are out on loan. Rojo's injured at the moment, but he's good there as a backup option, because his versatility at the back is actually good, is Marcus Rojo's, as we all currently know. But yeah, as I said, we definitely need a strong central defender, and we know that we have been linked with a lot of central defenders. But if we were to get Philippe Coutinho, that would be a great major sign, if we were to get Philippe Coutinho. Man United have opened up negotiations, but it's if Barcelona are willing to do any business. But according to the Barcelona director, potentially he thinks he's still got a future at Barcelona, even though they haven't met the expectation levels of what Barcelona expected from him. But potentially he hasn't been getting a lot of game time, Philippe Coutinho, as well. So he hasn't really had the chance to express himself like he did at Liverpool, because he really flourished at Liverpool. He was getting the game time. He was playing amongst good players, when he was in the Liverpool team. Was Coutinho. He was scoring goals. You could use him in the attacking midfield position. You could put him on each flank. You could even use him as a second striker, Philippe Coutinho. And he would guarantee he can provide assists. He can score goals, as he did prove, during his 5 years with Liverpool. And I thought he was fantastic during his 5 years with Liverpool, Philippe Coutinho. What a signing he would be for Manchester United. Imagine how much he'd dramatically improve our midfield, Coutinho, if he was actually to come in at Manchester United as well. I know I know he's mainly attacking mid, but you can put Coutinho on each flank as well. So Man United have to think about, where his preferred position would be Coutinho in our squad, if he was to come in. But for me, what formation do you think Coutinho fits in? What system and what formation do you think Coutinho would fit in? I think 4-3-3, probably not. I think maybe in a 4-2-3-1 formation, I think definitely Coutinho would fit very, very well. Maybe in a 4-4-2, a standard formation, maybe Coutinho, would maybe fit very, very well. People, of course, have different opinions, but whether this deal, gets done or not, I do not know. But it would cost excess of around £100 million to Manchester United to get him anywhere. But we know potentially other players, that we've potentially been linked to today. As I have been updating you earlier on, that got mentioned today in the media earlier on, as I updated you on my last video. Reportedly, Man United have been interested in that Nicolo Barella. He's called Nicolo Barella. This player is a Cagliari player. He's a midfielder, as we all know. Reportedly, it come out in the press today Reporting from the Italian press today that reportedly Manchester United put around a £30 million bid in for him. Reportedly he is a Chelsea target as well, because obviously Chelsea are going to be seeing him as a replacement for Fabregas. But reportedly, Man United have put a £30 million bid in, according to the Italian press. He is under contract with Cagliari until 2022. He's the player. He is aged 21 years of age. He is Italian. He's been a full international since last year, where he made his Italian senior debut, the player as well. And he's obviously his Cagliari player as well. But reportedly, he's got good physical attributes about his game. Reportedly, his versatility is very, very good. So it did say you can put him as an attacking midfielder. You can put him as a central midfielder. You can operate him even as a defensive midfielder. And you can actually you can put him on the right and the left, can't you, or something like that? So, well, no, not on the left. You can put him on the right. I think that's where his favourite role is, the right-hand side. But you can put him as defensive mid. You can put him as a central midfielder. And you can play him as attacking midfielder. Reportedly, his determination to win possession back so fast is very, very good. Reportedly, he's very, very good on the ball. Reportedly, he's got a wide range of skills as well as the player. So reportedly, he's a huge, young, talented player, this player. As I said, and, Sarri, as we all know, has had experience of, managing Italy, as we all know, so he will know about some of the Italian players. Will Sarri, as we all know, because he used to manage Napoli and all that. Did Sarri, so he'll know, and that's probably why he's keen on getting him. This Nicolo Barella as a replacement for Cesc Fabregas, but potentially it has said Manchester United have been interested in him as well, and reportedly Man United have put £30 million bid in for him, because I think we do need a centre defensive mid. To be fair to Nemanja Matic, he has improved, at Manchester United, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's taken over. We know he's slow, he doesn't have much tempo to his game, but in my opinion, I think Matic has showed good distribution, more. I think he's getting forward more, he's galloping forward more, as Matic, and he looks effective, because he does pass the ball very, very well, doesn't Nemanja Matic, to be quite fair, but I definitely think we need a centre defensive midfielder. This Nicola Barella name, who has been mentioned today, he looks a very, very good player, of what I've seen of some of his stats and that, he's a very, very, supposed to be a very skillful player. He can provide assists as well, can the player. Reportedly, he's supposed to be pretty decent player, and he's only 21 years of age, so as I did say, he is young in his prime, is this player. But yeah, it's come out in the press today that Man United, of course, have been linked with him as well. So potentially, as I did say, Solskjaer did confirm that he's not, he basically said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he made it clear saying that he was going to have negotiations with Ed Woodward about this January transfer window, about potentially signings and all that. Solskjaer confirmed he doesn't think Man United will make any signings. He said it's unlikely, and he said he doesn't expect Manchester United to make any signings. But as I've just said to you, I think there's still areas, where potentially, Manchester United, need to strengthen up, as we all know, as I did say, the central defensive position, the left-hand side, so we look better in attack. I think we need, that's where mainly the attack's coming from, is the left-hand side. And I think we need to address the right-hand side as well, indeed. So potentially we do look a better team under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. As I did say, 5 wins out of 5. The first manager to do that, since the great Sir Matt Busby, as we all currently know. But as I said, Solskjaer's got the mentality at this club. He likes the attacking philosophy, he likes the width, as we all know. And he has admitted as Solskjaer he'd love the job on a full-time basis, as he did confirm. He'd love the job on a full-time basis. And he says it would be hard for him to leave Manchester United, as we all know. We know potentially the club and obviously Ed Woodward are still recruiting, to obviously, get a full-time manager in at the end of the season. And we know Pochettino is the number one favourite if Solskjaer doesn't get the job on a full-time basis. But I think us having any chance of any silverware this season is potentially, the FA Cup, as I currently said. And potentially we're fighting for that top 4, don't forget, as we all know. We are fighting, for that top 4 position, because that's one position, we do want this season. So potentially, as I did say, Solskjaer knows the culture of the club, knows the traditions of the club, because he was a great, great player, for 11 years was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all know. Won 6 trophies, scored 126 goals in like 300 odd appearances in all competitions that was. And potentially he's only had a bit of managerial experience before he's come to United. He managed Cardiff, wasn't so good there. He won 2 Norwegian titles with Molde, as we all know. But Solskjaer confirmed he's going to give everybody the chance. He's going to rotate the squad Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as he has confirmed, and I think youngsters are going to grow and develop under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And it was good to see that Chon, make his senior debut, against Reading at the weekend, as we all know. But potentially, as we all know, we've still got a lot of players coming to the end of the contract, so we've still got to think about contract renewals, as we all currently know, in the process. So potentially, yeah, that's big breaking news anywhere, about Philippe Coutinho, reportedly. So potentially we know that Manchester United have been linked, with a few central defenders, as we all know, that's been mentioned in the press. So potentially, obviously, a lot of Manchester United fans would like Koulibaly, to come into the club, because we know how much of a good signing, Koulibaly would be, because he adapts every area of his game very, very well. He's got a lot of good physical attributes. He is under contract with Napoli until 2023, as we all know, is the current player. But as I did say to you guys, there has been no sign, there has been no sign that we are going to get him in this January transfer window. Well, there's some bookmakers thinking we can get a deal over the line, but we know it will cost the club in the excess of at least £100 million to get Koulibaly, because he's a great, sensational player. As we all know, his versatility is good, but the Napoli president actually confirmed they weren't willing to do any business in this window. So far in the process, Manchester United, of course, have had 3 bids turned down for Koulibaly, as we all currently know, but he'd look good in our back line. He'd be a good leader in our back line if you put him alongside Bailly and Lindelof and all that. And potentially, I think this could be smaller than Jones last season at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you. I think Marcus Rojo is good there as a backup option, to be quite fair, because his versatility is good at the back as well. So yeah, Koulibaly would be a great signing, as we all know. He did sign a new deal, did Koulibaly, but it has a release clause hasn't been included, as we all know. But it would be a great signing, for Manchester United, as we all know. But I think he's a summer target instead of this month, because I don't think we'll get a deal over the line this month, even though Man United have, potentially, been in talks to get Koulibaly. Potentially we've also, been linked with Milan Skriniar, and these are Ed Woodward. Ed Woodward has identified 2 transfer targets for Manchester United, which is Koulibaly I've just talked about, and Milan Skriniar. And we know that Milan Skriniar, of course, has been mentioned in the press, as we all know. Milan Skriniar has been at Inter Milan since 2017, as we all currently know in the process. He's been at Inter Milan since 2017. He's Slovakian, he's a player. Inter Milan paid around £20 million for him, didn't they? Something like that. I think he's going to make over 60 odd appearances. He is only 23 years of age, so he is still young in his prime. Reportedly, he can play as centre-back and a centre defensive midfielder. As well, can this Milan Skriniar, and he probably would cost in the region of about 60 odd million, something like that, reportedly. And reportedly, there's been no sign of him signing a new deal, with Inter Milan, reportedly. And reportedly, Inter Milan could see Diego Godin as a potential replacement for Milan Skriniar if Milan Skriniar does leave Inter Milan, because reportedly Diego Godin has confirmed that he's going to be leaving Atletico Madrid. Reportedly, Diego Simeone may be in the process of trying to persuade him to stay at Atletico Madrid, but as we all currently know, Diego Godin, as we all know, he's 32, he is out of his prime, and as we all know, he's obviously never played in the Premier League, Diego Godin, but he has grown and developed sensationally well, and he's been playing in Spain for the majority of his career. Naturally, we was on the brink of getting, Diego Godin last summer, but a deal never fell through. But actually, at that moment in time, Atletico Madrid, agreed and guaranteed him a new contract, but he hasn't signed a new contract, and they've not offered him a new contract to Atletico Madrid. So I think potentially Diego Godin is going to believe, and he's a top world-class central defender, without a shadow of a doubt. I think he's been at Atletico Madrid now 9 seasons. I think, and he's a lot younger in his prime. He had 3 years with Villarreal as well, did Diego Godin. But potentially, yeah, I think he's going to believe in Atletico Madrid. I think reportedly it said Inter Milan were willing to offer him a 2-year deal, reportedly. So Inter Milan could potentially see Diego Godin as a replacement if Milan Skriniar does leave, as we all know. So potentially, and he's been an ex-Man United target, as we all know, as Diego Godin. So potentially, we know that Man United have obviously been linked to that Eddie Metellio as well, that Porto central defender. As I did say to you guys, he's 20 years of age, as we all know, so he's very, very young in his prime. He's Brazilian, as we all know. He only signed for Porto last summer, as we all know. Reportedly, his performances in the Portuguese league have been very impressive this season. His performances reportedly in the Champions League reportedly been impressive this season. We know a few teams have been interested in. Liverpool are actually in there for the player. Liverpool are reportedly in there for the player as well. Reportedly, Eddie Militao, however you pronounce his name. Real Madrid, of course, have been interested in him as well. But reportedly, as I currently said, Eddie Militao, reportedly he's got a 40 odd million release clause as the current player. Reportedly he's got a 40 odd million release clause. He's still got 4 years left on his deal with Porto. Man United have been interested. Still got 4 years left on his deal with Porto. Man United have been interested in him now, and of course his versatility is good. He can play as a centre back, a full back, and a defensive midfielder. So his versatility is really, really good, and he's got a lot of years ahead of him. Of course, he's never played in the Premier League. He's been in the senior squad, now quite a few years as the player. So actually, we know Manchester United, of course, have been linked with him as well. But potentially, we know there's been talks, that came out in the press yesterday about this. About this Costas Manolas, as we all know. He currently Raiola represents the player, as we all know. I think he recently changed representatives last year, did Costas Manolas last year, so now Raiola represents him. Reportedly, he's held discussions with Manchester United as Raiola about getting this Costas Manolas for around £32 million, because that is the player's release clause, £32 million, as we all currently know, this Costas Manolas. He is a centre-back, he's Greek, he is 27 years of age, he is disciplined at the back, his composure is good, he is tall as well as his player, he's an ex-Olympiakos, he's an ex-Athens player as well as this current player, but reportedly Manchester United have been interested in him, reportedly we have been interested in him, and reportedly he's got a 32 million release clause. Man United are looking to trigger this release clause, it said, and willing to offer him around £6 million per year. But it did say a report from Greek was coming out in the media yesterday that Man United were in talks to get him in the summer. I don't understand why we can't actually get him in this January transfer window, because reportedly maybe his release clause can't be activated until the summer. So even if potentially we agree a fee to get the player, I don't think his release clause can totally be activated until the summer the players. But as I said, yeah, so Man United are working with Raiola on this deal. And Raiola's worked on the previous deals, with Ibrahimovic, Pogba, Mkhitaryan and Romelu Lukaku in the past as well. So potentially Manchester United, of course, have been interested in him as well. We know we're still linked with Tottenham's Toby Alderweireld, as we all know. We know he keeps getting mentioned in the press. He's one of our potential targets as well. He's got, obviously, Tottenham have extended his current contract till 2020, as we all know. So he's going to be available for 25 million in the summer, because they've included a release clause in this deal, and it's a release clause of just 25 million pounds for Alderweireld. As I said, he's Premier League proven. I think he'd look very, very good in our back line, to be quite honest with you, with Toby Alderweireld. But we know there has been a lot of talks about Alderweireld, coming to Old Trafford as well, and I think he'd do, very, very good. I said I have versions about him. I think he has lost the pace a little bit, Alderweireld, but I think he'd do very, very well with Manchester United. Indeed, Alderweireld, because I think any player that does, if we do get any players under Solskjaer, I think they'll flourish very, very well under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because Solskjaer's got the team playing, communicating together, creating more chances, scoring more goals, and as we all know, we look at so much better team because Solskjaer has brought the fear factor back to Manchester United. As I did say, over £400 million spent on this team, but I think this team is going to become a replica of what the team did and achieved under Alex Ferguson. So potentially, our aim this season is to potentially get in the top four, as we all know. As I did say to you, I think, as I do keep saying, I think Rashford is mainly a number 9, to be quite honest. He's a 21-year-old, risen up the ranks. He's been a Manchester United player since the age of 7, as we all know, and potentially, I think he's mainly number 9. I know he can play through the left and all that, but I think he's mainly number 9. Martial mainly left. I think Pogba expressed himself better in a number 10 position, to be quite honest with you. I think Pogba is better in a number 10 position, in my opinion, just behind the centre forward. He didn't play against Reading, but he's going to be definitely probably in contention for the Tottenham game on Sunday, as we all know. But as I did say to you guys, so let me just put my phone on charge. But as I did say, I don't think Fellaini's got a future at Old Trafford. I don't know how he fits in the new Manchester United regime, to be quite honest with you. So I think he'd go. I think Darmian could go as well. You know, Darmian hasn't had a lot of game time. He's coming to an end of his contract as well. And there's reportedly, you know, been a few Italian teams interested in you know, Darmian as well. As I did say, Valencia and Ashley Young now are both age 33. As we all know, if I was Solskjaer, I'd been Diego Dalot, you know, for Ashley Young at that right back position. But I think Valencia may leave because obviously he's not preferred right back choice anymore. It's Ashley Young who's preferred, who's number one choice at right back, as we all know. And Valencia's agent's been discussing about his future. And Valencia, as we all know, he hasn't signed an extension on his contract. He's been here since 2009, as we all know. So he's been here a good 10 years now as Valencia. Made over 300 odd appearances. He's been in and out of the team this season, so Valencia hasn't featured much in the team this season, as we all know. Potentially for me as well, you know, Ashley Young, same age as Valencia, there's been no sign of him signing an extension, as we all currently know as well. So I think potentially Ashley Young could go. There's been no sign of him signing an extension. We know he's been a preferred right back choice, as we all know, and he still can play well, but I think he's past it now, so he could potentially go maybe at the end of the season. Maybe so too. Valencia could be going at the end of the season because there's been no sign of Ashley Young actually signing another 1 year extension at the club. Reports are coming out the other week saying that Inter Milan were reportedly interested in him as well. But as I said, we look a much better team, you know, as we all know. 5 wins out of 5, 16 goals scored. We've kept 2 clean sheets so far under Solskjaer, as we all know. But as I potentially said to you, you know, I think Lukaku is going to definitely improve under Solskjaer. He scored in his last 3 games. Everyone talks about him being a big game bottle. His first touch just concerned me. But I think he's still a good player. He's a proven goal scorer in the Premier League, as we all know. He's got a good pedigree in the Premier League. 45 goals for Belgium, as we all know. But potentially, I know he hasn't been good this season because he's been lacking goals. He hasn't been scoring goals. But I think now, you know, I think he's going to be, you know, be a better player under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in my opinion. So too is Sanchez. Sanchez has just come back from a hamstring injury, you know, don't forget, as we all know. So potentially he needs to adapt areas of his game. But I think he will, you know, dramatically get better as he does keep playing games. Sanchez, same with Fred. He needs more game time to get playing to his potential level as well. Does Fred? Because we paid £50 million for him last summer. Don't forget, as we all currently know. So I think potentially Fred does need more game time. So potentially, as I did say, this is big breaking news about Philippe Coutinho, reported in Manchester United, as I did. As I did say, reportedly Manchester United have held talks with Barcelona, caught offside have reported on it, and reportedly Man United have been in negotiations to get Philippe Coutinho. He's done a year on his contract so far at Barcelona. Barcelona paid £142 million for him last January, which makes him the 3rd most expensive player of all time. And he's lacks development at Barcelona. He hasn't established himself at Barcelona as we actually expected him to, but he hasn't been getting a lot of game time as Philippe Coutinho. But according to the Barcelona director, he has actually suggested out that he thinks he's still got a future at Barcelona, you know, despite that he hasn't been getting the game time that he would, you know, demand Coutinho, you know, with his quality and class, because he's a very quality player and he's Premier League proven as well in the past because he had 5 great years with Liverpool, as we all know. 5 great years with Liverpool did Philippe Coutinho, and Liverpool only paid 8.5 million for him from Inter Milan. This is when obviously he was young in his prime, as we all know, but now he's obviously in his mid-20s, so Liverpool made a huge profit on the player. That's because he grew and developed and turned into a sensational player, and that's what Coutinho was worth, because he was a really good outstanding player for Liverpool, as we all currently know. And as I said, he used to play under Pochettino, did Coutinho, you know, when he was on loan at Espanyol, as we all currently know. But as I did say, you know, if Manchester United were to get him, we'd have to think about, he can play in numerous positions, so his versatility is very good as well as his physical attributes are fantastic. He's a skillful player, he's quick on the ball, he's good at holding onto the ball, he can pass the ball as well, he can create, he can provide, which is good to see, and he can score goals, as he's proven. But he's mainly number 10 is Coutinho, so obviously if he was to come at United, you know, probably Solskjaer would probably put him in just behind the centre forward in the attacking midfield position. Mind you, Pogba plays there sometimes as well, doesn't he? So I wouldn't know. The Man United maybe even put him on the wing because he can play on each flank as well. And obviously, as we did speak, Manchester United do need to address the right hand wing. We need a right winger potentially. The left hand side's okay because that's where our attack's coming from, is the left hand side. But there's no attack really coming from the right hand side, and that's
what we do need to address that right hand side as we are more currently on. I think Coutinho can play number 10. He's even been deployed as a second striker before, as Philip Coutinho. You can even put him on each flank as well. So if it were me and Manchester United did get him, I'd actually, I'd put him on the right wing potentially, because that's one of the actual positions where we do need to strengthen up in our squad, and he's capable of playing there. Is Philip Coutinho, but it would cost the club around £100 million to actually get Coutinho at Old Trafford if we did have any chance of signing a player in this January transfer window, and he would be a good signing. Imagine. There's vast improvements in the team already at Manchester United, as we all know, but there's still room for more improvements by getting a couple, one or two signings at least on the board in this January transfer window, because we desperately need them. Coutinho would deliver the goods to United. I think he'd provide, he'd guarantee us goals as well. I think he'd be an absolutely sensational player if he came to Manchester United, of course. But there has been talked by, as I said, there's been talks. Man United have contacted Barcelona over it, so it is big breaking news, as we all know. So anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, guys, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very soon, guys.